Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome back to the channel, Everyday Carry for Everyday People. Today's topic, pretty important, state of affairs in South Africa. Please forgive me, I know I'm having a cup of coffee. It's almost 6 o'clock in the evening and it's freezing cold. So, about a week and a half ago, South Africa received a loan from the World Bank for 11 billion rand and an interest rate of just under 1%. So we have different classifications of South Africans. We have South Africans in South Africa. We have South Africans in South Africa that are planning on leaving. We have South Africans working abroad, and in that there we have those who are immigrating. We have those who want to return back home. We have those that are negative towards the country, rightfully so. We have those that are positive towards the country, rightfully so. But regardless, today's video is going to look at two important things that have happened since the 26th of January. And they're pretty important and they're pretty damn scary. At the end of this video, I'll leave links in the description below. I urge one and all to be proactive, read, engage, look at it. So the first thing that pretty much happened was obviously TELKOM losing R1 billion on the JSE. I mean, their shares dropped 3.75%, and that's because of investigations by the SUI, or the Special Special Investigation Unit, SIU, sorry. So yeah, a lot of people are going to have mixed feelings with regards to that there. My view is, in South Africa, consumers across the board, whether it be telecommunications, whether it be service delivery, whether it be Eskom, whether it be banks, whether it be whatever, have given South Africans a raw deal for at least the last 20 years, to be fair. They treated us like scum because they felt that we didn't have any other options. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people are actually leaving the country, whether to work temporarily, long-term, immigrate, whatever the case may be. The people that you do have that are going to remain are there out of necessity, not out of choice, which means you're going to get about that much out of them. So good luck with that. But moving back, TELKOM obviously lost R1 billion in terms of their shares dropping 3.75%. The two sources that I used for that there was MSN.com and dailymaverick.co.za. That was dated the 26th of January 2022. So my question is, out of the 11 billion rand that were given by the World Bank, is R1 billion going to be used to cover the shortfall of TELKOM, because it is a state-owned enterprise which falls under the Ministry of Public Enterprises. I mean, a lot of money has been pretty much thrown down the drain with regards to SOEs, or state-owned enterprises, or whatever you want to call it, over the last forever. But that's neither here nor there. Bottom line is, those in charge in South Africa, private business, private and public, need to get their heads out of their rear ends and start investing in intellectual property. They need to start listening to people and start utilizing the knowledge and the skills that these people have, so that they don't end up, or we don't end up, in a banana republic. So that was the first thing. The second thing was, I was looking at it on the 2nd and again today, Denel, surprise, surprise, yet another SOE. Um, the JSE gives every state-owned enterprise 7 months to report on their financials after year end. Um, their year end was March 2021. They still haven't reported any of their financials, so obviously they were suspended from trading on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Well done, guys. I guess we're going to use some of that 11 billion rand that we borrowed from the World Bank to keep Denel afloat now, which is fantastic. I mean, here's a fact. The last time Denel was actually profitable was in 2012 when they signed an arms deal with the Saudis in Riyadh. I know this here because I was in Jeddah at the time and the deal was signed just before Heritage Day. I attended a function in Jeddah where the then Consulate General and stuff were all present, and I congratulated them on actually signing the deal. Lo and behold, the CEO of Denel at that time was a retired major general. Guess it helps to have right people in the right positions. Hey, I'm not going to tell you who it was. I know who it was. Go and do some research and follow up. So Denel can't trade on the JSE. Well done. That means no funds coming in. That means no sales of arms and ammunition abroad. Well done, guys. This is just fan-freaking-tastic. My message for the Minister of Public Enterprises. See, don't look at a lot of our LinkedIn accounts and see teacher, educator, whatever the case is. You have no idea the caliber of students that we've taught over the years. You don't know what fields they were in. You don't know that we taught students in telecommunications. You don't know that we taught students that were in their respective militaries. You don't know. So here's a thought. Instead of doing the same thing over and over and over again, using the same formula that's failed for at least the last 12 years, here's a thought. Invest some of that 11 billion rand that you took from the World Bank into coming up with new ideas. Okay, you all like to outsource. Everything is outsourced, outsourced, outsourced. This is why our textile industry in South Africa was killed, because of outsourcing. Yeah, everything's outsourced. Nothing's done in-house. The reason that buildings don't, there's no maintenance on schools is because it's all outsourced. Well done, guys. So take some of that money, outsource, get in touch with people that actually know, that have taught, that have seen both inside and outside of the country. Start making them part of the solution instead of seeing them as a problem and saying, yeah, look at that one, look at that one. What does he know? What does she know? They just ran away from the problems, that's that, whatever the case is. We didn't run away from our problems. For some of us, there was no choice but to leave the country to seek employment abroad. Why? Because there is no employment in South Africa. South Africa has a 35% unemployment rate. Do you understand how massive that is? So if you take 60 million people, just 60 million people, and you do the math on that there, it's 19.5 million people that are unemployed. So no, we didn't run away from South Africa. We didn't run away from our problems. There was nothing for us. And that's why we went out and spent 5, 10, 12, 20, 18 years overseas, gaining so that we could earn, so that we could send money home. It's about time South Africans at home and abroad are treated with a little bit of respect and common courtesy and dignity. We might be consumers. That doesn't mean you get to push us from pillar to post. Because the next thing you're going to want to do is cancel Netflix and make Netflix pay for their streaming services in South Africa and all the rest of it. I tell you what, if you provided a proper service to South African citizens, we wouldn't have to do this here. full digitalization was supposed to have been completed in 2014. It still isn't done. So there's your service delivery. But you want to tax all South African citizens for seeking services from outside of the country because it can't be provided inside. So here's my suggestion to those powers that be. Why don't you start making your South African citizenry part of the solution instead of start seeing us as the other, laughing at us, insulting us? Because when we start looking for alternative solutions to our problems, then you want to turn around and screw us on that too. Immigration tax, this tax, that tax, this, that. I mean, for God's sake, fuel levies are being jacked up. Eskom is talking about jacking up prices. You've got ministers in parliament sitting there going, oh, this is so unsustainable that we have to take a loan out from the World Bank. Well, ask yourself a question. Why the hell did we have to take out a loan from the World Bank? Why? Because of mismanagement, misutilization of resources, putting buddy, crony friends into positions of authority where they don't have the skills, they don't have the necessary experience, and they turn around and jack the whole system up. This is why we're sitting with what we're sitting with now. This is precisely why we're sitting with what we're sitting with now. I mean, for God's sake, some of us are married to foreigners, and the shit that we have to go through just to get our families back to South Africa. I don't want to hear the story of you got to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody to get it done. It's not how a country operates. That's not how a government operates. The thing is, it has to be equal for all, and you can't just be changing it willy-nilly because it affects one or two people. That's not how it operates. I know I'm ranting, I know I'm raving. Usually I'm pretty even-handed, and I usually like to look for the positives in this type of situation. All right. However, 11 billion, $500 million last year, and we've got absolutely nothing to show for it. Our brightest minds are leaving the country, which means they're taking their intellectual property with them. Here's the thing, you're going to hit people for immigration tax and all the rest of it. That's cool, all right? So they sell their houses and they get hit with tax on that. They're moving their money, they get hit with tax. Once they're gone, they are gone, which means they take their potential future earnings with them. It means that they take their intellectual property with them. It means that they take their skills with them. What do you have left? Everybody, I've heard this whole thing about brain drain since 2004. And here's an interesting fact. Not a goddamn thing has been done to encourage South Africans to stay. Nothing has been done to encourage South Africans to go forward. You think you're gonna bring people in from the rest of Africa? Here's an interesting fact. One of the reasons that South Africa was kicked off being exempt from needing a visa to the United Kingdom is because we opened up our goddamn borders and allowed everybody in, and those people use South Africa as a springboard to get to Europe or to the United States or wherever. So average South Africans like you, me, our kids, our grandkids, our brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers get screwed for it. And then you want to turn around and blame it on everybody else. You want to talk about colonialism, you want to talk about this, you want to talk about that, you want to talk about whatever the case is. Stop blaming everybody else and start looking at our own faults and fixing that there. I apologize to one and all for the rant, but I think with 11 billion rand being an 11 billion rand loan being taken out from the IMF, even if it is just at 1%, do you understand how many generations of South Africans are going to have to pay that back, particularly when none of that money is being utilized in any productive means of production? So I'm going to go out on a limb and put my prediction out there and say part of that 11 billion is going to go through to the 350 rand social welfare net, and once that's gone, it's gone. We saw how quickly 500 million went last year. I'm not saying people don't need it. I'm not saying people shouldn't have access to it. But how about taking some of that money and actually investing in something that's going to yield productive returns, like intellectual property, like paying people for their ideas, like putting the right people in, like actually listening for once in a blue moon. Yeah? Because once money's gone, it's gone. What are you going to do? Take out another loan? And another loan, and another loan, and another loan. Somewhere down the line, everybody pays by economics 101. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Ladies, gentlemen, I appreciate you taking this time to watch this video. Like I said, I'll put links to the articles in the description below. I encourage one all to go out, check it, keep yourself abreast of what's going on, and hopefully we can get something up and running. In the meantime, enjoy, if you're in the Middle East, the rest of your weekend. If you anywhere else in the world, sure, it's the start of your weekend, so enjoy it, have fun, be safe, take care of yourself, take care of one another, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.